Moteur. Action.
Someone pointed out to me, they said, in your movies, someone's always running. And I said, oh, you're right, someone is always running at some point.
What does it say about you?
I've got somewhere to be. I don't know.
Do you speak French?
Oh, so little, and I'd have to be drunk. But so I won't do it now. I'm not drunk.
Because I noticed that you played in a French film by
Yes, I
Olivier
did.
Legault.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Une aventure new-yorkaise 15 years ago.
I know, I did.
What do you remember about it?
Well, that was actually one of the very first things I ever got cast in. I auditioned and got cast. I went to the casting office, I did my reading of the part, and then I got cast. And I was mostly used to going to auditions and just not getting any of the parts. It was sort of shocking that an audition could result in being in it.
Moteur. Action.
Hello, Greta.
Hello.
So I said hello, Greta, but maybe I should have said hello, Ms. President of the jury.
I would prefer it.
Yeah. What does it mean
No,
to you?
I'm kidding. It's an extraordinary honor. From the minute I arrived here, I feel like I'm pinching myself. It's actually the Cannes Film Festival, and I'm actually being able to be on this jury.
Do you have memories of the Cannes Festival that you love, that you cherish?
Well, the time that I really was here, I was actually here in the capacity of my husband had a film here, and it was the first time I'd ever done the whole thing, and it was something I looked around and I said to myself, I would like to come back. I would like to have a film here, and I haven't yet been able to do that part, but being able to do this is extraordinary.
Well, precisely, I'm wondering, Greta, as a director, how do you deal with the idea of judging fellow directors, especially icons like David Cronenberg,
Yes.
Andrea Arnold, Jacques Audiard?
I know. I don't, well, first of all, I know we're called the jury and we do hand out prizes, but really, I mean, anyone who's been selected to be in this group of films is already being held up by the international cinema community and saying these films are incredible, they're worthy. So it's you know, as they say, everyone's already a winner.
Yeah, it's a real question. How do you judge a film? Yeah.
I think that it's not so much about the way I look at it, and I got to speak with my fellow jurors last night, is that it's allowing ourselves to be open to be changed and challenged and not going in with any kind of preconceived notions about what we're going to watch. Is that we're here to experience all of these films and to discuss them and then to let them grow in us. Because sometimes if you see a film maybe, you know, one day and you're not sure, and then 3 days later it's still in your head.
And that's a question for the actor, the director, and the movie lover.
Yes.
What makes a great movie for you?
I always go through that feeling of, you know, the author, and there's a feeling of a soul and an author behind a film, that you get the sense that this film could have only been made by this person at this time with this group of people, and that it has that that sense of the individual and the group of individuals that made the film behind it. And so that's what I look for. But I have to say, with this group of films, I think probably I'll feel that way about every single one of them. So it's not as if.
But you'll have to choose.
But I have to choose.
I love, Greta, that you say author.
Yes, yes.
Because we do say in French, film d'auteur, and you have a very interesting journey from very independent, low budget, mumblecore, as we say, movies to this huge Barbie movie of $100 million budget. Is it still the same job? Yes,
it's the same job. I'm always, in a way, it's comforting that it's the same, because there's not, you know, in some ways you're always constructing it, you know, images, collage, cuts, sound, everything is, where's the actor, where's the camera? It doesn't change, and I've always felt that even though I've done it at different scales, it fundamentally always feels the same to me. And in a funny way, I thought, oh, well, if it's a studio film, this would be very different. It's not. You still are making these decisions.
What do you miss about underground cinema, though?
I miss, it's more kind of maybe a spirit of this feeling of, no one knew we were making those movies. Nobody cared that we were making those movies.
So it's less pressure.
Well, it's like you have a secret that only you know, and that you, it's that you're in a community that takes it seriously, but it's just this band of people. We were just sleeping on floors, and we took it very seriously, and we were very much a community, and we talked to each other, but we also didn't. It was before any eyes were on it, and it feels like a very precious moment.
I heard, Greta, that you're working, which is very exciting, on a Narnia movie.
Yes, yes.
Which takes you back to literature after your 2019 adaptation of Little Women. As an artist, what are you looking for in your childhood and teenage reading?
Well, it's, you know, I think when you take a piece of literature that you've loved as a child and then you're reapproaching it as an adult, it's sort of, you have a double consciousness, and I felt that very strongly with Little Women because I had an experience reading it when I was young, and then when I read it as you know, a grown woman, I saw things in the text I had never seen before, and you know, as a writer and a thinker, C.S. Lewis is so rich, and he's so, you know, erudite, and he's written so much about different things that there's a lot to dig into, and I find myself, this sounds maybe mystical, but it's like you have a collaborator, and you're sort of trying to, and the collaborator is both C.S. Lewis and also who I was at 8. And so you're always checking in with your child and this person who you've never met and you're not going to be able to meet.
I guess that's my question. How does the child you were still express herself?
I always try to keep the child close to the surface because, you know, I have children, and the most wonderful thing about them is they're not instinctually polite. They'll just tell you what they think. If they don't like the food, they'll spit it out. And you say, oh, no, I'm sorry. And then you're like, but there is something about that. It's like being in touch with the part of you that just says, oh, no, or yes, I love it.
Very last question, Greta, about French actors. Is there a French actor you'd really like to work with? Because they'll be watching this interview.
Well, one of them that I did get to work with was Louis Garrel, who I was able to cast in Little Women.
That's true.
And that, and you know, at first he said, I'm not German, and I said, I just want you to play this part.
Or maybe Omar Sy, because he's in the jury.
Yeah, well, that would be a wonderful one. Yes, and you know, I think. Gosh, I mean, also Eva Green is also in the jury. I've got plenty of wonderful French actors to choose from in my jury.
Thank you so much, Greta.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Oh, no, my real answer. Sorry, I just remembered my real answer of my real answer, sorry, I just have to say, is Denis Lavant.
Denis Lavant?
That's the person. So I don't know, if I make a movie that there's that's him, it's Denis Lavant.
Wonderful.
Okay, great.
Thanks,
Thank
Greta.
you.